Greetings, everybody. This is Crazy Spartan. I know it has been a long time since I've done any type of commentary, but I really felt like it is time to do so. With Campaign Evolved coming out sometime in 2026, and me being a Halo fan since around 2005, give or take, I think I really kind of started playing when Halo 2 came out. That's the first time I really kind of found out about Halo. That and watching Rooster Teeth and some of their Red versus Blue, I really got an interest for Halo. I thought it was actually really kind of cool as to how they were doing everything. And so, anyways, that's where I kind of got started. And with Campaign Evolved coming out, I really feel like I wanted to share some of my opinions, take them for what they are. They're just opinions, but here they are. First off, I'm just going to cover what I kind of like, what I've seen. Now, I have not actually played the game. I have not been privileged to get anything like that on hand. But what I can say, I do like how pretty it is. It is a very pretty game. There is no doubt in that. Some of the visual effects are really kind of cool. I do like some of the plasma weapons and all that, and how that's going, how they fire and how they reflect off things. I really like some of that stuff. It is very pretty. Some of the things, other things that I like, honestly, I do like some of the new sounds for weapons, though I do still prefer the classic and a lot of that. Especially the Magnum. The Magnum from Halo CE is, I don't know how you could improve on it. I really liked the way the sound happened back then. I thought it was really well done. Some other things that I don't like, and this is probably a bigger list. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to get this game, because I probably am. I could see that. I don't know if I'm just going to wait for it to go on sale, to be honest with you. But because I have played CE, I don't even know how many times. I actually just recently played through campaigns Halo CE, I'm sorry, Halo Reach, Halo CE 2, 3, and Halo 3 ODST just recently. And I did do Halo 4 as well, all on the Master Chief Collection, which I enjoyed. However, I think this last time I played through it, I went ahead and I left it on the old graphics. And I'm going to be honest with you. I really felt like the old graphics had better atmosphere than their anniversary counterparts. Not saying that they weren't better, the anniversary, because resolution and a few things like that, they were better. I thought the Marines were rather fat in Halo CE, which was really kind of threw me off on that. I didn't particularly like the things that they did with the armor and things like that. But I went through and I played it with the old graphics, and to be honest, I actually really enjoyed it that way. So there was that. So what I can come to here with what I'm watching and so far with Halo CE, and granted, I know this is not the finished product. We all know that. We know it's coming to PlayStation. We kind of suspected that anyways. So that's been kind of interesting in that. But what I don't like, honestly, is some of the small changes. I just don't understand why they changed them. The biggest one, honestly, the biggest one is, why did they add sprint? Why? I just don't understand why. And I do understand that you can turn it off. It just, the play spaces were all made for a non-sprint type of game. And from what I understand, and as they're not increasing the size of anything, they're leaving everything as it is, as close to the original in that aspect, which that's good. But I don't understand, why would you add sprint, because it changes the dynamics of the whole map. You're going to get around way faster than the original intent, which, you know, is what it is there, but I just don't understand why. The game didn't have sprint. it doesn't need sprint. Halo has always been uh, the slower, more, I want to say, thoughtful game than it was the run and gun, such as Call of Duty and Battlefield and any other of those types of games. It has definitely been the more methodical. You had to plan your attacks a little bit better, especially in multiplayer. It was working together as a team versus just run and gun. Granted, there are those that can do that, but with that, but it made a difference in that aspect. I just don't understand why you would add it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm glad you can turn it off, and I probably will, because I just feel like it doesn't belong in this game. The other thing that I really don't like is changing some of the very intentional geometry. Now, this specifically kind of points out to this tree that is supposed to be in this area. So you can't get a warthog up here because the original designers wanted you to get on foot and go that way. They wanted you to be on foot and fight your way up this hill. Without that, because they took out all those other trees, as you can see here, it completely changes the encounter. Completely changes it. Where what was used to be like, oh my goodness, I got to get up this hill and I got to fight several elites, rather powerful elites, and those annoying little grunts at the same time, and it was a completely different experience than what I see here. Now, I'm not saying that they ain't going to change it back or do whatever, but I kind of hope they change it back. It just destroys the original intent of the developer. It just destroys it. You were supposed to go up here on foot and figure that out, but unfortunately, that's just the way they chose to do. I don't know. That I don't like, and hopefully there's not a lot of it in that aspect in this game. But to be honest, I could see them doing it just to kind of streamline it. So I'm not super thrilled with that. On to something that I actually do like. I'm kind of switching back and forth here. One of the things I actually do like is having an expansion on the campaign a little bit. And I say that with getting some of the Sergeant Johnson campaigns. A little bit of that action. That I think would be kind of cool because I love that bit of it. I would love to see a little bit more depth into the campaign, which it is an incredibly amount of depth to it. But some of the Sergeant Johnson, which is one of my favorite characters of all time, I loved him in every game that he was in. I really wish they could have brought him back in some way, shape, or form. You know. But that I'm really happy about. Some of the other things I am not thrilled with, again, is how do you deal with hunters, which you can see right here. It was a amazing thing when you figured out you can one-shot them in the back with the pistol, and you can't do it here. Again, I don't know why, just to try to make them more formidable, but trust me, you're fighting hunters on Legendary and Halo CE, you're going to know it. There is a difference. And you're going to be really happy that you can finally get that one shot and get them, and take them off the board, you know. But it's just not something that I felt like they should have taken away. Another thing I'm not particularly thrilled about is the assault rifle. I wasn't thrilled with that. They changed the amount of shots. I don't understand. It's one of those changes I just don't understand. I don't get. It went from 60 down to 32. Why change that? It's just one of those questions. I just don't understand what their thinking is here behind it. That was one of the most unique, because after Halo CE, it all went down to 32. I don't understand why they would change it. To make it conform, to go with the engine, I don't know. Why are we making changes that don't need to be changed? They were good in the first place. Change for the sake of change isn't the best thing to do. So another thing there. So Honestly, I am looking forward to this game. I think it will be kind of interesting to play. I just am not super sure about picking it up right away. I just don't think so. To me, it's probably going to be one of those things that once it goes on sale, if it comes out for $40, which without multiplayer, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, without multiplayer, I mean, again, Halo and multiplayer are synonymous. Why is there no multiplayer? And from what I understand, is they're planning on a multiplayer release in 2027, and I don't know what that's going to look like for Halo 7. If it's, I don't know. I'm really kind of curious as to what is going on. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think Halo Studios, which I don't like the name change, I think 343 was better. It actually has a significance. The number 343 does actually have meaning, and I think Halo Studios is just a change in the name for the sake of change again, because they've made some decisions that probably aren't the best decisions, but it's still making the same decisions. I don't understand. I don't get it, but and those are my thoughts. Take it for what it is. Uh, as for multiplayer, I am going to upload another video if you're still here. Kind of what multiplayer could have looked like. Granted, it's just all AI enhanced, old maps type of thing, but I think it really could have been awesome if we just taken the old multiplayer and just honestly put a fresh skin on everything for the modern consoles and things like that. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. So pay attention and to check out that. But as for right now, man, I'm up in the air on this game. As a very long time fan of Halo, I don't know. That's my best thoughts right now. Is I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope for the best, but we'll see. As for right now, this is Crazy Spartan, and thanks for listening this long. I'm out of here.
Comment, like, and subscribe.